This is the GeekNerdPoly podcast by Geek Alabama. Hello everyone, it's me again. This is the latest episode of the GeekNerdPoly podcast series, and well, for this episode, I'm going to not talk about anything geeky or nerdy. I'm just going to talk about crazy and stupid things that are going on in this state of Alabama. I mean, October 1st has come and gone, and a new budget year for 2016 has taken effect. Our legislature had a second special session to try to come up with a budget before everything in the government in the state would shut down, and they did. They passed a few tax increases, about the only one that's going to hurt people is if you smoke, cigarette tax. And, well, everything else is going to get cut. Things like prisons and Medicaid are fine, but for everything else, well, the legislature said, screw you. Screw you. So, starting this month, you're going to see the pain in this state for people who rely on the state for things, like simple things like getting your driver's license renewed. And people saying, you can go do it online, you don't have to visit an office. Well, you can't do that every single time. You can't renew online every single time because eventually you have to get your picture updated. And the only way you can do that is by visiting the office where they can take your photo. You gotta think about that. Sure, you can renew once or twice when that time comes, but eventually you have to go visit an office. And across the state, you're going to see over 30 driver license offices close. Most of them are going to be in rural areas where it's a lot harder to drive a long distance to a big city to get your driver license renewed. And not everybody has the funds to pay the gas to drive 20, 30 miles down the road just to get your driver license renewed, or to, have somebody drive them, or pay the almost $40 to renew your driver license for the next 5 years. Which almost costs $40 now to get your driver license renewed. So most of these driver license offices are in very rural areas, especially in the Black Belt. And in this state, not only you need a driver license to drive, you need a driver license to vote. And you have to have a voter ID to vote. And by closing down driver license offices, there are going to be towns where people have no choice but to drive quite a distance just to go get a photo ID to vote. Yeah, you can go get a photo ID to vote for free. But not everyone lives in a town when you can go get the photo ID to vote for free. You have to drive 10, 20, 30, 40 miles just to go get a photo ID to vote. So you're making it a lot harder for people who don't have the funds or money or the means to go get a driver's license or a photo ID so they can drive and vote. So why do you think this is going to lead? Lawsuits, yeah. With the Supreme Court had to overturn part of the Voting Rights Act, where somebody in Shelby County sued to overturn parts of the Voting Rights Act. If we still had the Voting Rights Act intact all the way, this driver license closing thing would have to go for the Justice Department. The state's claiming they'll still send this for the Justice Department for approval, but I think a big reason why you're seeing driver licenses closed, it's not only because of the budget cuts, it's the legislature and people in government who want to suppress people who will tend to vote on the left, or Democratic votes. And it's sad. It's sad that we still have this problem of people who want to do anything political to get their way. And in this state, oh my gosh. You think it's bad in Washington, D.C., come to this state. You'll be surprised. I mean, we have a Speaker of the House who has over 20 felony corruption charges, and he won't step down. And he'll have his trial early next year, and when all these emails coming out, it don't look good for him. I think he's going to get convicted, and he still won't step down. That's the government for you in the state. So not only driver license offices are closing down, state parks are also going to close down. Five of them are going to close down, mostly in the rural areas once again. So who cares about people visiting and enjoying our outdoors when the gate to the state park is locked and there's a big park closed sign in the front gate? That's basically what we're going to see. We're going to see people who can't visit their state parks, mostly in the Black Belt area too, by the way. It's mostly in South Alabama and the Black Belt where most of the state parks are going to close. So anyone living in the Black Belt is pretty much getting the big middle finger right now. You not only can't get your photo ID renewed or your driver's license renewed, you can't even go visit a state park. And the ABC board's closing down most of the liquor stores in the Black Belt. I think one town that has going to be badly affected is Marion in Perry County. Not only the driver's license office is closing, the ABC store is going to close. I mean, there's a state park close to the area around in Dallas County and close to Selma that's going to close down. Oh, if you live in Marion, you're screwed. You're going to be driving a long distance just to do basic things you must get done in government, like getting your driving license renewed. Heck, if you have a teenager who needs to get his driver's permit and you have to test for that, you're going to have to drive a long distance to get that done. Probably, and that means the kids got to take a day off school, the parents got to take a day off work, and that sucks. You shouldn't have to take whole day off work, and a kid shouldn't have to take the whole day off of school just to do a 10-minute driver's test. I mean, why are schools not doing this? They used to, but not anymore. So not only state parks are closing, not only it's going to make it a lot harder to go get a driver's license renewed, National Guard armories are all going to close. Some of them, and we're talking close to 20 of them across the state. So next time we have a major disaster strike the state, which happens often, by the way, very, very often, I hope you have the means to secure yourself and rebuild yourself, because you won't get the help you need. That's what the legislature and the people in government are telling you. You see the theme. You see what's going on here. You see the mess we have in this state. And it's a mess. It's just a big, big mess. Now, here's the biggest reason why this mess is going on in Alabama. I don't blame the legislature. I blame a corporation in this state who has a huge lobby throat around the necks of the people who are in the legislature in Montgomery. And then it's Alpha. It's the Alpha Farmers Association, the Alabama Farmers Association, Alabama Farmers Association, and Alpha Insurance. Those are the people that are causing the problem. Those are the people who are lobbying the legislature to keep things status quo, and who cares about the poor people in the state? We only care about the rich. So here's what happened during the second special session. The legislature was going to vote on a business privilege tax, but Alpha killed it. They lobbied to kill it because they say it would harm growth. So who cares about out-of-state corporations who should pay their fair share of taxes in this state? Let's screw the poor people who can't visit their state parks and get their driver's license renewed. That's what Alpha pretty much said. And it's not just the privilege tax, it's also property taxes across the state, where are some of the lowest in the entire country and world. If we doubled the property taxes in Alabama, we would still have some of the lowest property taxes in the entire country. Hands down. I mean, the people who own the big farms and big timber plots are barely paying anything in property taxes. And they should pay their fair share. It would raise quite a bit of money for the general fund, but Alpha is kind of like the NRA in national politics. NRA pretty much gets their way. Any time in the Congress, they'll get their way. Alpha's the NRA of Alabama. Alpha Insurance and the Alabama Farmers Association is going to get their way every single time in the legislature. It's kind of like the old AEA in the state, the Alabama Education Association. They used to have so much stranglehold in the legislature. Pretty much legislatures would look up to the boss, and he would hold his thumb up or down on voting yes or no. Alpha and Alabama Farmers Association is like AEA in the state. They have the biggest lobbying group, the most power in the legislature in this state, and until they're taken down a peg, they're going to continue to run this state to the ground, unfortunately. And come on, Alpha. Come on, Alabama Farmers Association. Quit screwing people because we're poor. Some people are poor and some people don't have the income to drive so long just to get things that have to be done in government. You have to have a driver's license to drive. If you go to another state and you don't have a driver's license, you're going to be put in jail. All right? And people should be able to visit this state and visit the state parks during this state. That's tax revenue. That's people spending on sales tax that go to the government. And instead, with everything closing down, now people won't even have that chance anymore. So, the biggest wake-up call in this state has to go to Alpha Insurance and the Alabama Farmers Association. Alpha, quit sending the middle finger to the people in this state. You need to realize that sometimes taxes is not an evil, horrible thing. Out-of-state corporations should have to pay their fair share in taxes in the state, whether they like it or not. They do it in every other state in the country. They should do it here too. Farmers and timber owners should have to pay their fair share of property taxes, and it should go up. Okay, if they go to any other state, they would pay almost double, triple, quadruple the property tax they would pay in this state. They can afford to pay a little more. Georgia Pacific, these large timber owners can afford to pay a little more, and that would help our schools in this state and the general fund. So, to sum things up, until the legislature and the people in this state wake up, slap their heads and realize that the Alabama Farmers Association and Alpha is ruining this state, these problems are going to continue. We're going to see more state parks closed. We're going to see more driver's license offices closed. We're going to see the prisons continue to be overcrowded. We'll see people who have Medicaid not get the help they need. It's going to get worse until we deal with the chief problem in this state, and it is Alpha Insurance and the Alabama Farmers Association. So there you go. I guess I'll have another enemy against me now because I'm, Alpha. Blame Alpha. Blame Alpha for all this stuff because you do blame them. All right, well, this is going to wrap up my latest podcast in the GeekNerdPoly series, and if you enjoyed it, I hope you visit me on geekalabama.com and enjoy what I've put together on the Geek Alabama site. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/NDYoung or on Twitter at twitter.com/NDYoung. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and you have a great geeky nerdy day, and geek out. Thank you for listening to GeekNerdPoly. Learn more about Geek Alabama by visiting geekalabama.com.